first Finke episode for 2022. It's just hitting 7 o'clock in the morning. All right, whole crew, everybody over here, let's come and say good day real quick before we get into it. Everybody knows Sari, the captain, the chief, or whatever we are. Ashton, say good morning.
Good morning.
Christian, say good morning.
Hey guys.
Mia, say good morning. Jamie, say good morning. We're here at Finke 2022. Who's pumped?
Yeah.
Yeah? We ready to rock?
Yeah, we go. Yeah.
All right, so we've done a lot of preparation for this year. We've been out here for, I think it's going on 4 or 5 days. We've kind of, for this year, we're backing off on the camera crew for this year. This year is all about racing. So today is really going to be the only day that you guys are going to get to see us before you see us get into the trophy truck. So what we're doing today is we're going to finish up our pre-running. We've been running down to Finke and running back in our Polaris Razor. We're getting to know the track quite well. The GPS notes are bang on. Now it's just about getting Ashton some seat time. But in the episode today, we're going to show you how the Finke race works. I'll get a lot of comments on the YouTube about how do I do this and how do I do that? Where do I camp? How do I pre-run? How do I get involved? Well, we're going to run you through the whole thing today. And you'll really kind of see the whole racetrack slowed down before we get into race day. So, here we go. We're going to run from Alice Springs down to Finke. Jamie, you want to explain the
All right,
rules?
so with Finke, we've got 226 kilometres of absolute chaos if you don't know what's going on. Leading up into race week, a lot of us will come out here and pre-run, whether it's the motorbikes, the cars, whatever. And they've got this unsaid rule. Well, actually, it is a said rule, and it's a said rule between all the competitors, but a lot of the spectators don't know it. We have until 12 o'clock midday to get all the way down to Finke. Then there's a half an hour layover when nobody's allowed on the track, and then from 12:30 onwards we all head our way back. It's one of those rules that's extremely important people know what's going on, because when we come over those crests and corners we don't know what's there.
That's a really good point, guys. So if you do come out to Finke and you're coming out spectating or you're coming out pre-running, follow the rules out here, because obviously it can get dangerous. Now you have to be in a registered vehicle to be on the Finke track, or you have to be on a registered bike. We have recreational rego on the pre-runner, so on the Polaris. So we've got public liability insurance. Let's say the worst thing is to happen, then we're going to be insured and medical bills are going to be covered and all the rest of it. So really important, stick to the rules, can get dangerous for the drivers, all of the spectators. New rules this year with Finke too, you're not allowed within 20 metres of the racetrack.
Yeah, and that's
which is cool.
And one of the other things too, which a lot of the campsites don't actually think about, is when we're running down that way and you think you're on the inside of the corner, that's fine. Come 12:30, when we're coming back this way, you're on the outside of the corner. So what we've noticed a lot of people are just camping way too close. So we've got to start moving back.
Yeah, watch the distance from the track if you come down here, and obviously, keep it safe for yourselves and your families, and obviously, I think for all of the drivers and the riders, all the competitors as well. Enough safety talk, but it's very, very important. Let's get the pre-runner off.
It's freaking cold.
You two are up. We'll get the twins down to Finke, and we'll show you the back end of the track. In fact, it's warm. Okay, so how this all kind of works. You can see kind of down there where those lights are, that's the stadium. That's the actual start and finish line for the Finke Desert Race. So that's the Alice Springs end, obviously. Now we've got 4 main checkpoints that I'm going to show you guys today as we run down the track. So we've got Uinninga, Deepwell, then Redinga, then Mount Squires, then we get into Finke. So when we're racing the track, these are the checkpoints, the markers that we go through the timing gates, and they'll keep our times as we go through there. But these are the next step. You only really concentrate when you're racing to get to that next checkpoint, next checkpoint, next checkpoint. Me personally, I don't really think about the finish line. I don't think about Finke. I try and think about where I am on the track and my distance, and then try and remember from all the pre-running that we're doing on what's coming up. Now obviously with the navigation in the car, it's making it a lot easier for us now. We know the turns coming up and we can mark a lot of the crests and the dangers and all the rest of it, but there's nothing better than obviously the memory. So how you can do this if you come out here, if you're not racing, there's a service road over this side that runs all the way into Finke. Now when you get to Deepwell, the track crosses the road and heads onto the eastern side of the road. How we normally pre-run is we will stay on the service road, and we always tow the trailer in case something goes wrong with the pre-runner. And we normally meet at 50 kilometre bonnet. So every 50 Ks we stop, check the boys are all right, make sure the car's all right, check their fuel, and then send them off another 50 kilometres. So if you're spectating, even if you come out here before the race, for the week before the race, you'll see people pre-running. There's a lot of action happening on the track. So you can run up and down the service road and check it out. So, start finish line. Uaninga's going to be the first place that we stop and give you guys all the way through this episode today. We're going to show you every checkpoint and we'll show you how the track changes as it gets down into Finke. So we just got onto the road, just left the kids, so they're going to meet us at the 20k bonnet. To my left is the airport. Start finish line is just behind me. The road's paved for about the first, I don't know how far you reckon, Jamie, but they're doing a massive upgrade at the moment. So it looks like they're going to pave the road all the way down to a station called Maryvale Station. So I don't really know how I feel about that.
Kind of takes the edge off it, doesn't it?
It takes away from it a little bit, but it is nice being on a paved road. So the track's running to my right at the moment, so all the way down to Finke. We'll probably catch the kids somewhere along the way. We'll see them at the 20k bonnet. We'll have a catch up then, see how the car's feeling, and then we'll keep moving through. Yo!
What's up?
What's going on?
Not much.
How is it?
Fresh?
Yeah, that's alright.
How's the track?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
bumpy through there or not?
No.
Nah?
No.
Pretty smooth through here to the 20k?
Yeah.
Cool. So we got to go to... I've got to stop at Uaninga real quick because I'm going to show everybody through the first checkpoint at the 27k mark.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys made us at the 40.
Okay.
Yeah? So do you want to stop at the 40?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. We'll see you there. Track.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sick, huh?
it's so good. Wish we could go down next year through the race.
Oh, wow. So you can see here, like I was talking about before, you pretty much get a view of the track. There's some spots. This is probably a really good spot. So for the next probably 20 odd kilometres, really we can pre-run side by side with the pre-runner. Now obviously you've got to stick to the speed limits, but it's about 110 kilometre an hour speed limit through here, which is really good because in the side by sides, that's about kind of the speed that they stick at. So it's an awesome view of the track. Welcome to the 40k marker. So this is one of the ridges. This is one of the big ones. You can see all the whoops. The twins will be coming through here in just a second. So this is just to give a bit of perspective on the track. Now, pretty much every kind of 20 kilometres there's a bonnet, eh?
It's every 10.
Every 10?
Yeah.
Some of them are missing. Some bonnets are being kicked over. So you got markers all the way down the track, and this is where we kind of mark everything off of, yeah? So all of those checkpoints I've been talking about, that's where the timing gates are. And you kind of got the checkpoints in your head. You want to get next checkpoint, but you keep an eye on while you're driving. You keep an eye on all the bonnets. This through here is going to be stupid fast this year, right?
Looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be silly fast. Now you see the boys when they come through here, and especially on the dirt bikes and those top 5 guys, they'll hit this thing wide open and they'll land down the bottom down there, right into the whoops or on top of the whoops, and it's the most amazing thing that you've ever seen, seeing a human do that on 2 wheels. I mean, the 4 wheels and the trucks and the pro buggies, that's kind of scary enough, but the guys on 2 wheels, they're nuts, eh? They're just not all there. Jack Simpson, who you saw in our episode from last year, this year he's going for the big win. This year we saw him pre-running yesterday.
Yeah, mate, it's mental. Like, he was hitting his thing, like Justin was just saying, and probably the 5th or 6th whoop down towards the flat there, that's where he was landing pinned.
He's gone. What are your thoughts when you see this? Let me hear it from someone else's perspective.
I don't know. I just kind of know how fast you guys go.
Yeah.
And then, seeing all these whoops, I'm like, ah!
So us in the truck this year, we've done a speed test on the truck, and we tapped out on where we were testing, and we were at 188k an hour. I reckon we'll be tapping 200 this year.
Yeah, we will be, especially once we start getting down the bottom end. We don't see, it's actually a little bit more like it is down the bottom here. As we get a bit further down, we're getting whoops that are like knee high, up until waist height, which is where our truck starts to shine.
And we'll be
but once we get down that back end, Jesus.
Yeah, it's going to be scary this year, but look, the kids will be coming through in a sec. The other thing is, so you see the GPS and all the GPS points. This is all the stuff that we're marking. So Jamie's got their mark there, and some of the light signals he'll give me is don't jump, so I know on the backside, or he'll give me a green signal, which is foot to the floor, and just hit this thing wide open. And you just got to have, I've got to have all of my faith in his notes and his navigating to ensure that we're safe when we get on the backside of this stuff.
That's why we pre-run.
That's why we pre-run. But again, the road is right there too, guys. So for all the viewers, all the guys that aren't racing, so the road is right there. You would have seen some of the footage. You get an amazing view through here all the way down the track. And there's spots like this on the track. There's 10 and 20 kilometre sections where if you're driving up and down the road, not on race day, don't do it on race day. But if you're doing it during the pre-running the week before Finke, you'll see a lot of people running up and down here. Really, really cool spot today. Here they come.
I still can't watch it.
When are you racing, Finke? Okay? When are you going to race the 688 car? It's a family tradition, you have to do it.
Hiya!
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah? How's the track feeling?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah? Everything all good?
Yeah.
Car's feeling good?
Yeah, it's still fine.
Yeah? Nice and tight? Cold?
Not really.
How's the notes?
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
No, it's good, yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, good, yeah, good, yeah. Just cool as a cucumber, eh? Like, whatever, Dad. We got this. All right. So I think what we'll do from here, the other thing is too, guys, we actually miss Uaninga. So Uaninga's about 3 or 4 Ks back there. So that's the first timing gate. The next timing gate is Deepwell, and that's where we cross the road. So I think from here, we'll head to Deepwell, pull up just short of the crossing. We'll have another quick chat there. We'll check your fuel, and we'll keep moving. Yeah?
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Feel that sun.
What? Smash the front axle.
I thought I saw that.
What? You smashed the front axle.
All right, so remember I said to you guys before that this thing's done about over 3,000 kilometres of pre-running now. So now things are about to start giving up. And this is maintenance, so this is just a side-by-side thing. Drive shafts, that's exactly what they're designed to do. They're designed to brake, but you can see they've snapped that thing clean. It won't be the end of the day for them today, but it's going to make this thing extremely difficult to drive, so they might just have to slow it down a bit. Might have to get the tools out. Let's cut that boot and see if we can pop it out.
Yep.
Yeah? We're going to have to leave the stub in there though, obviously, yeah?
Yep. Holds bearing in.
Okay, all right, that's all part of it. We'll grab the tools out. So if you are going to go pre-running, here's a tip. So what we normally carry is a bit of a toolkit for knocking and bashing stuff, but we normally carry a spare belt as well. So belts is something else that all side-by-sides love to do. They love to chew them up.
Turn hard right. That's it.
So Murphy's Laws, I think, is just bit us in the arse, or shouldn't have said this morning, that we've done over 3,000 Ks of hard pre-running because we have literally not put a spanner on that thing. The only thing that we have done to that vehicle in the whole time of pre-running is change the fluids on it. That is it. We haven't done a drive shaft. We haven't done anything.
Oh, good. Yeah, this is a double captured bearing. These are almost impossible to get out. That's a clean snap too, eh? If you get Jack to run out an angle grinder, I can just cut it straight off.
Now, the problem is that cage on that CV there is no way we're going to be able to break it out. So we've got one of the boys running down to a camp down there to see if we can borrow an angle grinder and cut it off. The issue is we could run back to the race shed and get an angle grinder, but this shuts down at 12 o'clock. Now, if we muck around now and go and do that, there's no way I'm going to be able to finish this episode for you guys. So the call is here. Maybe we can get an angle grinder, keep the kids running, or we put the thing back on the trailer and we're going to have to do all of this in the Isuzu, which is going to be fun, 7-up running the Finke track. But we're not going to let this stop us. Yeah? This is Finke. This is what it's all about. That is the reality of it.
With the basis, it's cage brakes.
So he's trying to, whilst we're trying to get an angle grinder from down there. Oh, there you go.
Try and do that.
Got it.
That's what I'm trying to do.
So, yeah, so what he's done there, now you need, obviously you explain it, you need the stub back in the car. So we can't have that shaft because it's broken here. We can't have that flapping around because it's going to smash out one of the control arms. But this holds the whole bearing assembly together, the whole hub assembly together. So all we needed was this spline, show them the back. So that spline will go back in, put the nut back on. Boys are good to roll, let's go. But I can tell you now it's not over yet. Because when these things go, and I know from experience, you've seen me doing this for a long time, as soon as you pull a drive shaft out of one of these things, it starts putting load into other areas. So I'd be very surprised if this is it for the day. But we'll give it a crack, yeah? Just baby. Just nurse
Just
it.
like crab.
No. Yeah, crab walk it. Just nurse
Just
it.
crab walk
Oh,
it,
here
son.
comes a bike. Watch this. Oh yeah, that's hard work.
Hey Jazzy, at one time, not during Finke time, but maybe at one time after Finke or other times during other year. Let's just come in.
We'll come right. Juddo's here.
Hello team.
Juddo's rolling with the camera crew today. So he's in the camera car today. So I don't know if you got to see him the whole lot. Do you remember that time in Gundy when you brought us a race car down?
All too well, mate.
And now you brought us a grinder.
Just saving the day, left, right, and centre.
Where'd you get? Have a look over there. Where'd you get that from?
Mate, my new mate Levi
Yep.
got him out of bed this morning and he gave me an angle grinder.
Did you wake him up?
Yeah, I might have. I may have.
When you go drop it off, can you see if he can whip us up a coffee?
Yeah, I'll do that right
Yeah?
now. Let's get right to it, mate. Thank you for that, eh?
Juddo's back, the man. All right, so it's over. I'm going to give a big shout out to the engineering team at Polaris right now because the front axle's gone and not even 10k down the road.
Yep, done the rear.
Done a rear axle. So like I said at the start of the episode, I'm actually really impressed. Actually, come here and have a look because we just checked this out. And I lied a little bit. I told a little white lie, but you can see on the dash there, 3,008 kilometers this thing has done now. And literally we haven't put a spanner on it. So honestly, it's been an amazing bit of gear. And 3,008 kilometres of pre-running Finke. That's all this thing's done.
So nothing but.
Yeah, so Flinders Ranges, I think we've done 100 kilometres. So we pre-ran in this thing last year. We've pre-run twice this year, 3,000 Ks of just Finke up and back. Unbelievable, that's it for today, mate, you're done. Yeah? it's just not worth it from here. So we're only running, that corner's running now, that corner's running now. We're going to end up loading up the front diff and loading up the gearbox. We don't want to do any more damage than what it's already done. But we did bring the 7-seater for a reason today. We bought the MU-X for that reason. So what we'll do is we'll load this thing onto the trailer now. You two will have to jump in the back of the MU-X. And we're going to show you the track from the MU-X. So we'll run down, we'll show you all the checkpoints. Still run you through. We'll get the episode that we wanted for you guys today. Show you all about Fink, but unfortunate that that's it for seat time prior to the big race day.
Yeah.
You didn't really get that much, huh? You only got like 50k.
Yeah, I got 50 k's of pre-running.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got 200. You've got 2,500.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you're macking.
yeah. You were going
Mate,
good.
I'm just too fast for the car.
Time for a trophy truck.
Okay, mate. Okay. All right. No
But I tell
dramas.
you what, mate.
All right. Well, let's get this thing loaded up now. And oh, that sucks.
It does suck. But
That really sucks. Fink.
do.
Fink.
That's Fink.
It just does it to you, eh?
Right, let's hit it.
Done and dusted.
I think we've made the right call today bringing out the MU-X. So this is our 7-seater that we have in the fleet at Patriot Games, and this is actually the second MU-X that we've had. So we used to have a graphite one, and the Isuzu have released a new model. So we got one of the new MU-X's, and I'm really impressed with it. But this is my first time driving it today. Like I said, good call bringing out the 7-seater. For us, we're moving that many people around in the background of Patriot Games. Like at the moment, I think there's about 15 staff from different departments of Patriot campers that are out here at Fink. Engineering team actually just drove this thing from the Gold Coast, so they've done about 3,500 kilometres across from the Gold Coast, testing some new products. And I can show you what the engineering team did. So they smashed the back window on the way out. So you see that's all gaffer taped up. But look, for us, the reason that we've got an MU-X in the fleet, and we've had one for a couple of years, is they're the most affordable, capable 7-seater, I think, that's on the market. So we can still tow 3.5 tonne. We can do everything that we need with it behind the scenes. We use it for some family stuff if we're going 7-up. Marketing team uses it, camera crew uses it, engineering team uses it. So this is really one of our R&D vehicles. So again, good call, bringing out the 7-seater for the day. Bit of a shame that the boys are out for the day, but the whole family will now go. I think we're going to go 6-up in this thing, and we'll get down to Fink and we'll continue showing you guys the track.
We're there yet?
It's going to be a long day.
Look at like the back seat. Me and Mia back here. Like, I'm like what 6'1" apparently according to a tape measure. I don't believe it, but
I'm about 4'11".
yeah, Mia's about like 4'9".
Hey!
She's got enough room, enough headroom up there. Yeah, there's a lot of room back here. We got our own little aircon vents, cup holders, WD-40. Can't get enough of that. Rear aircon controls up there. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. Oh, hello, buddy.
Oh, morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it's big back here, so that's good. Like most like rear seats on cars, like you hate getting it, but it's actually really comfortable. So.
All right, welcome to Deep World. So this is the first main checkpoint of the track. This is really where, look, realistically, I think by the time you hit Deep World, this is where you start settling into the race.
You're in the groove.
So we're somewhere between kind of 70 and 80 kilometres. Do you guys feel the same when you get here?
What? Yeah.
When you get into Deep World is when you
You're
really
settled.
start settling into the race.
Yeah, it's when it just feels like just like a drive and like all the adrenaline's kind of come down a little
yeah.
bit.
That's it. That's exactly what
just
happens.
Cruising.
And then you start cruising, and there is a bit of a problem there, and it happens to me every now and again. You probably hear me on the audio where I'm like, Jamie, keep talking to me, because I think you kind of get into a bit of a trance and you start daydreaming, and then you start falling off the pace as well.
Yeah, and what we find down here too is we actually get a terrain change. It becomes very rocky through here.
Yeah.
And we find the sections, there's a lot longer, straighter sections before each of the corners. It does, like even myself, I'll look at the GPS, look at the corner ahead, and I'll just start staring out the window.
You
The
start
next thing
getting
you know,
complacent. Yeah. So we come through this, this is all rough, kind of really red terrain through here. So this is real Northern Territory stuff. And soft. And then when we come around this corner, so we come banging down this corner here, we cross the road's closed here, and then we head onto the eastern side of the track. Now, once we go over those plains, we come into a valley, and it is fast. It is like Mach 5 for, another 15 odd K before we hit the rough stuff?
Yeah, again, and then it opens up again. We do about 20 Ks of rough, some pretty deep whoops, who hit some big sections, and then once we come out the back of that, we've got 20 Ks of just foot to the floor.
Yeah.
But that's where we start seeing the 200s.
Yeah, it's wild. So still, the service road's running right along, so you've seen up until this point now, you can see what kind of happens on the track, and this happens the whole way down. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity right now to say a massive, massive, massive thank you to the station owners. There's 3 stations I know of. There might be a 4th. So there's Orminda, which is the first station. There's Deepwell Station, which we're on right now, and then we go into another station called Maryvale. And without the permission from these station owners and these guys getting behind the Finke Desert Race, this race just will not happen. We are on private property. Now, one of the things, did I just say private property? I think it said property. Yeah? Property, yeah? Now, one thing that I haven't brought up as well is we're actually following the old guardrail. So the guardrail used to run from Alice Springs all the way down into Adelaide, and you'll see some of the spikes when we get down there a little bit later on. But this is the first main checkpoint here at Deepwell Station. Massive thank you to the station owners, Maryvale, everybody else who's involved in keeping this race alive, because I know it's a lot of work for everybody behind the scenes. So thank you very much, guys. Yeah?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Where's our next stop? I reckon we stop in the big bumps and show them all the big bumps.
Yep,
Yeah,
show people what
yeah.
it's all about.
So there's a gate up the end here. So when we reach the end of Deepwell Station and we actually cross the fence into Maryvale Station, that's where some of the biggest stuff is on the track.
Yep. And once again, we see another terrain change.
Yep, and we'll see it all change again. So let's go. Yeah. Remember this spot?
Oh, I know this spot very well.
I got the hairs are standing up on my arms and on the back of my neck. This is where it all happened on the way back last year. So let's have a quick flashback to what happened at Finke last year and why we've pulled up in this spot.
Did we lose drive or did we lose converter?
No, we got no drive. No drive.
Alright, pull up here.
Get
Get out of the car. I'm going to check the fire extinguisher.
Check the smoke.
I'm getting out of the car.
Yep.
You get out.
Hey, you're leaking a lot of oil, fellas. Dropping oil on the ground everywhere.
That's not the memory that you want to keep, eh?
No, but it's definitely a place we're coming past this week.
Yeah. So on Monday, Mach 4 passed here on the way back to Alice.
Mach 6.
Mach 6. So you remember the helicopter pulled up over there, Sarah and Maya pulled out.
Yep, and it was right there.
So look, I'm laughing now and I feel like crying right now. Look, the tears are welling up in my eyes. What goes into this race behind the scenes, our whole year, our calendar is set up around this race now, around this event. And let me attack the white elephant. Yes, the money, like the money that goes into this event is just, and for everybody at every different level, we're just, you know, we're blessed now that we're at a stage in our lives where we can tick a bucket list, and I think that's what makes it hurt so much when you don't make it into Finke or you don't make it back, eh?
Yep, and the thing is too, like, everything's just so good, and if you can see that tree right there, that taller one in the distance, the distance from there to here, it was the distance between going well and we were done. We smelt it and we were done. That was it. 200 metres.
That was it. That was Finke over. But it ain't going to happen this year. I'm guaranteed by the boys that the truck is good.
They put the work in.
So the work has been done. The truck has been fully rebuilt. So hopefully you never see this spot ever again, but we had to stop and have a little reminisce. Yeah, let's go. Let's keep moving.
So you remember this spot?
Yes, I do. Hard to forget.
You landed in the chopper just over there?
Yeah.
Hey Mia,
That was a sad moment.
what was it like for you guys up in the helicopter watching that?
Oh, I just think seeing you guys coming to a stop after all that work was just devastating.
It was devastating.
And the look on your faces, and you can't say anything to make the situation better. You know, it's
Nothing makes it better. Actually, the only thing that did make it better was being able to jump in the chopper and then go chase the boys. I think that's the only reason why I didn't lose my mind.
Yeah, but you know, you don't want anything to go wrong, and it just sucked because that got you unstuck.
Yep. Anyway, not going to happen this year. Now we're just coming up to the gate that I was talking about before. So we're just about to cross over into Maryvale Station, and this is where some of the big whoops are and long section of whoops. So we'll pull up down here and we'll take a quick look at it, and we'll show you how deep some of these holes get.
That's frightening. That in my head, I drive a trophy truck, but in my head that just doesn't make sense to me, eh? How these guys kind of come through here is just absolutely wild. But on the big 40-inch tyres for us coming through here, it's you know, this is where it gets fun. This is what you buy a trophy truck for, and this is all you want. You want to get right up on top of this stuff. You want the wheels dancing, and that feeling is like no other feeling in the world. And this is 100% the reason that I bought the trophy truck. For stretches of the Finke track that look exactly like this. Now in the 688 car in the Razor, with the 32-inch wheels and obviously, you know, less suspension travel, that thing starts working, and this is where they start getting shock fade. And even when I raced in previous years, this is the section of the track that busts side by side, so it tears them to pieces. So the boys have got to be really, really, really cautious on how they drive this sort of stuff. They've got to try and keep all four wheels on the ground. That throttle control for them is everything when they go through this stuff, because when the wheels start skipping off the top of the whoops and then they start coming down, that's when they smash CV. But in the trophy truck, this is what we live for. This is where you put your foot down and where you make up all your time. Here comes another one. That is just, these guys are out of control. Now, another big thing for this section here, so about the 80-90 kilometre mark, to me, this is where you want to camp. So if you go back to last season, Camp Patriot, this is where the team was set up. They were on one of these ridges. You'll see on race weekend, this will just be flooded with campers. And once again, thank you to the station owners for allowing everybody to do this. They don't have to let everybody out here, but they do. Keep your distance from the track. Make sure that you're on top of your kids. That's the number one thing. Here comes a buggy coming through. So you'll see kind of how the side-by-sides roll this stuff. Oh, he's just cruising. That's a standard Turbo S pre-runner. So you see the boys kind of coming through. You see these Polarises starting to work through here, yeah? Just back to what I just said about camping though. This is the spot for me. This is where you want to camp. You're still only about 45 minutes back to Alice Springs, so if you've got to run in, get groceries and all the rest of it, I reckon this is the spot. This is where you see the most action. When you see the helicopter blast over first thing in the morning with a trophy truck or a pro buggy underneath it, I can tell you right now, it will be one of the best things you've ever done. Welcome to Maryvale Station. So, this is about, I think we're about the 120 kilometre mark, but let's just do a little pan around here. How gorgeous is it? So we're up at a big high vantage point up here. Keep spinning, keep spinning, don't fall. Keep spinning. Got to keep spinning.
Oh God.
We're showing everyone the view. Oh, I'm starting to get dizzy. I'm getting dizzy. One more time. Quick. Maryvale Station. This is Maryvale.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous, huh? So this is the service road that we come along. Now the track is just, if you can see right down there, there's kind of like one of those zebra signs. So you can see a gate off there in the distance. If you look to the right of the gate, that is the racetrack. So this is where Jamie and I were talking about is extremely fast.
Yeah, it looks flat.
We will be 6 gear, flat out, probably at about 200 k's an hour, just blasting all the way down through Maryvale Station until we start getting into the rough stuff again. You can see over there right in the distance, so that car is actually on the racetrack at the moment, so he's doing a bit of pre-running. But how much does the terrain change out here?
Oh, it does. Like Jamie was saying before, it's different all the time. There's always something to look at.
So it's kind of like, yeah, that every kind of 30 to 40 kilometres, it's just a completely, you could be in a different part of the world, could you not?
It's beautiful.
And it's right here in our backyard in the centre of Australia, guys.
And what better way to do it?
What better way to do it than this? And this is what, look, Finke is not all about the racing, you know, it obviously is, and that's what drags everybody out here. But I think I've said it every year, every single Australian needs to come out here and experience this.
Yeah.
And if you're going to come out here and experience it, why not experience it by seeing 600 or 700 horsepower trophy trucks blast across the desert at 200 kilometres an hour?
Why not? You don't want the serenity, you don't want all the quiet, you don't want the no dust.
You don't want any of that. All right, we're going to keep moving. The day is getting long, but before we go, we're just going to give you one more pan around Maryvale Station. All right, I'm going to finish with a Can-Am blasting across the desert. And actually, that's my mate Jeff McNiven from the Gold Coast, believe it or not. Good on you, brother. Best of luck. Jeff is super fast, so best of luck at Finke 2022. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. What are you two doing?
Yeah, some cash.
You getting some cash out?
Cash out, yeah, man.
What are you buying?
I don't know. Yeah. I probably have some new axles for the Razor.
Ashton made it funny. I was going to say, you should buy some parts to repair your bike. No?
No.
Who are you ringing? What are you doing?
I'm trying to call you Dad, he's missing.
Oh, okay, we can't. We lost Big Rob Dog. Big Rob Dog's back in Alice.
Rob Dog.
Yeah. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen my brother do, ever. Well, not Jamie doesn't make jokes, ever. What are you on the gram? Come and have a look over here too. So this is actually the entrance to Maryvale Station. So I just said to you guys up on the peak up there, there's a road that runs up here, and I think you're about 5 kilometres in Maryvale Station. There's a little shop in there. You can buy diesel, you can buy unleaded in there as well. So for all the Ram 1500 owners, and for everybody who tells you you can't get petrol anywhere, that is just the biggest load of BS I've ever heard in my life. You can buy unleaded absolutely everywhere. Really handy to have when you're pre-running, but it's kind of right in the centre between Alice Springs and Finke. So it's a good place to stop, refuel, go in there. The station owners are absolutely awesome, great people, and we're about halfway down the track. So we'll let everybody have a bit of a play around here, and then we'll keep banking some Ks. See you, mate! So we're just coming into another crossing here. So we're about to cross the Alice River. Now, what happens from here, we actually get into a riverbed. How far down do you reckon, Jamie?
About 90-95 k's when we hit the riverbed.
Yeah, so we're inside of a riverbed. The terrain changes so much. It's really gravelly when you first enter it, but then you get into some really deep, thick sand. And the walls on the side of the riverbed, we've seen it a couple of times over the years. This is where people end up ripping rear ends out of their cars. You got to be really careful, guys, when you're actually travelling around down here, that there are guys pre-running. So you got to be really careful when you do the crossings, that they can see you and you can see them, obviously. So we're going to keep on moving down now. Our next stop is going to be probably my favourite thing to see on the track, which is the Bandomba water tower.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because when you see the Bandomba, I've got hair standing up again. When you see the Bandomba water tower, you're going home. Like, you're going to Finke. You passed the halfway mark. You settled into the drive. You settled into the car. Everything's feeling good, and it's just all you can think about. That's when your mind just starts thinking about the finish line, and you start thinking about Finke. Do you boys feel the same when you see the water tower? Yeah. My favourite part of the track. I'm about to show it to you guys in just a minute. All right, Bandomba water tower. Did you guys climb that last year?
Yeah,
we did, and we're about to do it. We're about to.
I don't think we're about to do it again. So we're past the halfway point. We're at the 140k mark. Train changes again down here, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Start to see some whoops again. Clears up a bit, a lot less rock for quite a while.
Yeah, so now it starts getting bumpy, and now we start getting into the sand. So from here it kind of gets deeper all the way into Finke, eh?
Yep.
So we're getting the sandy stuff, and with the sand comes the big bumps, because obviously how those bumps are kind of formed, it's all the motorbikes and the cars when they kind of roll over the top, and then when you hit the gas over the top, the wheels spin down over the back, and that's what kind of throws the sand up, and that's what creates the whoops. The whoop is kind of shaped as you're heading down towards Finke. It's kind of shallow like this and then drops off the back when they fall in. But when you come back the other way, you're hitting the square edges. So it's heaps rougher coming back, isn't it?
Which suits us.
Yeah, which suits us, which is good for the 40-inch tyres and the big torque and the horsepower.
Hello.
Not so good for you guys. Do you guys feel a big difference between heading south and heading north?
Last year we were, we didn't really have any shocks.
No shocks last year.
So I couldn't tell. We've never been able to tell. We haven't had a run back. At all.
Yeah. So they haven't even had a pre-run back this year, but me and Jamie have, and I can tell you right now, it is so much rougher heading north, eh? It's heaps worse, but it's a better feeling too, isn't it? You know, the truck, you hear that motor just like it's
what these things are built for.
Yeah, it's exactly what the trucks are built for, so it's really cool for us. So, monumental spot. If you get out here to Finke, come and check out the Bandomba water tower. One really good tip for everybody. There's 2 road closures, well there's actually 3, but there's 2 on the main track. There's one at Deepwell and there's one here at Bandomba. So on race day, as racers, we would urge everybody to stay off the service road. Really leave the service road for the pit crews and the chase trucks that are running up and down. If you're traveling from campsite to campsite, not a good idea. The dust gets right on top of the race cars, and it's hardcore when you're trying to get through the whoops or a rough section. You got someone on the service road beside you just blowing dust on you. Obviously it's a bit of a safety thing, but keep it clear for the officials, keep it clear for all of the emergency services, and keep it clear for the chase crews. But if you are in a chase crew, what my team will do, they will leave Finke, they'll leave Alice Springs about 4 o'clock in the morning. My race team will be situated right here at the Bandomba water tower. So this year I'm going to have Jack, Steve and Juddo will be sitting here with the trailer waiting to recover one of the cars if the worst thing happens, you know. If we don't make it into Finke, they'll be waiting here. I'll come past them, then the 688 car will come past them. Once the 688 car passes them, they'll start heading to Finke. And then we do exactly the same in reverse on the way back. They'll position themselves at Deepwell at the last road closure so they know that they can access that second half of the track. If we do get caught up on this half of the track, we have to wait until the bikes come through in the afternoon, then they can turn around and head up the track and pick us up, yeah? So there's a tip for any of you new racers, and that's how you want to position your race crew. Giving away it all, eh? This is like
You've done it before.
like 5 years of hard work and learning here that I'm just giving to everybody. We want to see this event grow. We want to see it supported. We want to see more Australians doing it. Yeah? Mm-hmm. I think it's a good thing for the sport. The more people that get behind it, get involved in it, the better it is for everybody. Yeah? What happened in 1929?
I was the first person to fly over the Simpson. That's about all I read.
Can you even read?
I'm struggling a
Have you
little.
learned? You don't learn how to read until like grade 3, do you?
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
You're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Okay, there is actually nothing on here about the Bandomba water tower. This is more about the area, a little bit about the history, more about the Garn Railway, but this episode is not about the Garn. We've covered that in previous episodes of Finke. This is more about pre-running. So watch some of the previous episodes of Finke, do a little bit of study about the old Garn Rail that used to run down here, and hopefully so we might even find some more Garn Rail spikes. Do you want another spike? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. We get moving? Let's go. Alright, I've got a couple of kids asleep in the car there, so I'm going to make this a quick one. This is the Mount Squires checkpoint. So this is the very last timing gate before we get into Finke. Now, I think we're about 180 odd Ks, somewhere around there. So it's about another 47 kilometres into Finke. Now, it wasn't that far from here last year where the flex plate actually let us down. We'll see if we can find that spot. We might pull up and have a quick recap on that. So this is really, I mean, terrain changes a lot again down here. This is super fast this year. This has all been graded through the track, and there must be about I reckon it's about a 10 to 15 kilometre straight through here. It is absolutely wild. We're going to be in top gear, just wide open. That truck will be wringing its neck out, and I think everybody else will. But like I said, this is the last checkpoint. This is where it's like, you really, if you made it to here, despite what happened to us last year, there's a very, very good chance that you're going to finish. There are some big bumps down here as well. So once we get into here, so that there's that last bit of, you know, you still got to be very, very cautious as you start coming into Finke. There's some big bumps down in there as well, which again is perfect for the trophy truck. But this is it, Mount Squires, everyone's asleep. It's been a pretty big day. Obviously filming slows us down, but it's 12:15 right now. What we're going to see really shortly at 12:30, the northbound round open, so you'll see everybody start pre-running back. You'll see them all coming up the track. But generally speaking, when the roads are in this condition that they are at the moment, and these are the best I've ever seen the roads out here by a long shot, you can drive from Alice Springs down to Finke. I'd allow about 3.5 hours, something around there. So you can get down there and back in a day, and it's definitely worth the trip. But let's keep this show moving. So this is the unofficial finish line of Finke. Now I remember, I've got a lot of good memories here, eh? My second ever Finke, and I had Tommy navigating beside me. So we were banging down through here, and I've seen the jump, and I was just that excited to be in Finke, and I actually thought in my head that this jump was the finish line. That's what I thought. I remember Tommy yelling at me down there, and I'm like, full send Tommy, and I just held the Polaris wide open, and we landed, I don't know, it was pretty big. But I've seen some absolute monsters down here. I think the biggest that I've ever seen was Josh Howes. He landed, you see that dip down there in his pro buggy? So he hit that there, and he landed all the way down in the middle of that dip. It was huge. A couple of the other big boys I've seen, Billy Geddes just absolutely send it over here in the Hellboy truck. So there's some of the guys with big kahunas, they come in here, and you get a fair run up down here. I don't know, I reckon you'd be the top of third, maybe even fourth gear hitting this. So you could probably hit this at about 120, 130k an hour, and some of the boys just absolutely send it. But you got to remember, if you're racing, this is not the finish line. Don't make the mistake I did, because once I did the jump, I hit the brakes and I'm yelling like, yeah, and then I'm like, oh no, this isn't the finish line. The finish line's all the way up there. So if you can see that white gate right in the distance, then there's a red and white sign on the left of that shrub up there. That's where the finish line is. So there's a tip for everyone. Don't get excited when you hit the jump. You've still got a little bit to go before you cross the finish line. How do you feel when you see this?
Oh, it's good.
This is the best. Did you send it last year or not?
Yeah, it's like a nice
Yeah,
jump.
It's a nice jump, eh?
Deadly raises, like when they jump, it's either nice or they like try and tip over, but this jump just sends them packing.
Gotta hold the throttle onto it. Dude.
Just
give
hold
a
it
little
on.
whop as you go up the
Yeah,
brake.
you just hold it. You just keep it going. Like just foot through the firewall, just like, you know, go up and tickle God's toes away up there. And it's just...
Just say that. Tickle God's toes. You ever heard that before? All right. Well, that's it. That's it for the jump. I think we're gonna go let Ash go and tickle something. Let's get into Finke and I'll show you around the town. So once you come off the jump, then you fly through here, top gear. This is it. You are into Finke. And this is exactly what we're doing here. We want to see this little stretch of road and we're going to end up here in the town. We're going to get here on Sunday, boys? Yeah? Keen? And this is probably one of the most famous things here in Finke, this sign. I'd love to know the story behind who made it, but let's jump out and have a look and let's get a photo with the whole crew, yeah? So this is it. This is the official Finke finish line. The finish line is actually just back there. And that's what you want to see. That's what we want to do on day one. We want to blast all the way down here. And we want to see that.
Good feeling.
And then we want to see you standing about there.
Woo!
And Mia standing about over there. To welcome all the boys coming in. You ready to see Daddy and the twins?
Yeah.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
You're going to be up here waiting for us when we get into Finke?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It looks nerve-wracking.
You know what would be nice? To give the race team nothing to do on Sunday afternoon.
Well, we know for sure that that's definitely not going to happen. So let's just like adjust, just like make sure, check over. But like we don't.
You know what I mean?
My job's to be pessimistic, not yours. You must be an optimist. Jesus, I might as well leave the show.
That's what we're doing this weekend. We're going to come in here clean this weekend, and then Sunday, then we give it. I suppose the game plan is for us is both of the cars for Sunday just to get here. So I think it's about a little bit of preservation. You know, drive the car, not overdrive the thing. Don't do anything stupid. Stay on the track, both the cars. Keep it in one piece, and then figure out where we're at on Sunday night, and Monday, give it.
Yep.
You know, I think that's where we got to be. That's where we're at for this year. I think all of us have to give a massive, massive thank you above everything else that we've said today to the community for allowing this to happen, because obviously without the permission of the community out here, again, this race wouldn't exist. So the Finke community, Township of Alice Springs, all of the owners of the stations, all of the services, the Finke officials, the committees, all the emergency guys that are out here to support the race. Like, guys, thank you so much. We run our whole year around this event, and without you guys, none of this would be possible. So, but the Township of Finke, fuel, food, yeah. Got a cool little shop in there, hot food in there. They actually serve food. There's a supermarket in here, diesel pump, unleaded pump. Generally speaking, when we pre-run in here, this is where we'll refuel the pre-runner, we'll refuel the Jerry's that you've seen on the front of the toy hauler all throughout today, but we'll fuel up the MU-X. It's only a tiny little community. We'll give you a quick look around in there. I'm not sure how much we're allowed to film, but we might find out. You look like you got something to say.
No, fine.
No?
I was just thinking, oh, I could do with a nice cold Coke.
Well, they got that. Is that what you were thinking
I
that
was
whole
honestly
time?
thinking, I oh, I need caffeine.
Justin, shut up. I need a Coke.
You preparing a Finke dance?
Okay.
Let's go get that
Let's get to
Coke.
the store. How cool is this? So I've actually just gone into the store and I've just got permission to film out here. So we've spoken to one of the elders inside of the store, and they said as long as we film in the public areas, no problems, but we're not allowed to film around in the community at the houses, which is fine, that's fair enough. Rolling up here, that is definitely not something that you see every day. How cool is that? Well, come with me for a sec while that's going on. Diesel unleaded, so this is a 24-hour pump. So it just runs off a credit card like any standard sort of pump. So if you are traveling through Finke, you can pull up here at any time and get fuel. So down to the south of me is Mount Dare. A lot of travellers come through Mount Dare. So if you cross the Simpson or you do the Untitled Chapter, you can find yourself, you can meet up into Mount Dare. And then the best way into Alice Springs is come through the Township of Finke. They're always welcoming for us when we pull up here in the pre-run. Look at all the kids running around. How cool. Well, that's just absolutely amazing. Aboriginal communities are just, they're unreal. They're just a different perspective, different place to be. We always meet amazing people in here and they're always welcome and happy to see us. So support the local communities, pull in, spend some money, buy some fuel, go into the store, dump whatever cash you've got. They put it all back into the community. They employ all of the local people and it's just, it's just a great thing to do. Feel good moment and you get to see cool stuff like this. All right, that's it, guys. So that is a bit of a back-end pre-run camping how-to Alice Springs to Finke. Yeah?
Yep.
We've been asked that for probably 5 seasons now on Patriot Games. Every time we launch the Finke apps, how do we do this? How do we do that? Where do we get fuel? Where can we stay? How do I race? How do I enter? What do I need? And I think that gives not every detail, but that's enough. That's the majority, and there's a lot of time and effort that's gone into everything that I've told you guys today. But look, we want to see the event grow. We want to see Finke supported. We want to see the community supported, and we want to make sure that off-road racing continues to have a future here in Australia. Yeah. We want to see this sport get bigger, and I consider this is definitely not a one-man sport. This is a family sport. You see the way that we do it, the whole team behind us, the family's always together. Little Mimi's going to get in a buggy really, really soon. You turned 13 in like 8 months.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be 13 forever in Daddy's eyes.
You're going to be 13 forever, darling. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Chuck it in the comments. Any more questions? We'll see what we can come back and answer. But get out here to Finke, come out here to the middle of Australia, Northern Territory, and see Australia's baddest off-road race.
Bucket list.